Hello friends, I'm not climbing today, but I'm getting a good hike in. While I knock this out, go ahead and check out my video that I made on rig to lower or rigging for rescue. Enjoy.
So I brought up rigging for rescue or rigging to lower, have the means and resources. Instead of taking all your rope and putting it at the bottom of the drop, leave the rope up top so that you can use it in case of emergency. Or if you're super prepared and you have the time, means, and equipment, then you can bring twice as much length as the drop that you're doing. And then you can leave that up top and rig this in a way that if somebody got hurt along the entire path, you could lower them to the ground quickly, or you could haul them, whatever the situation entailed. Show is the munter. Either method I'm showing, you're going to want to put a stopper knot in the end of your knot, so that makes sure when you're lowering that you don't accidentally run out of rope and run it through whatever you're lowering with. For this demonstration, I made sure that I had enough rope for the drop that I was about to do to lower that person to the ground. Munters can be tied on different connectors. One of the most preferred is a pear-shaped. I don't always carry big pear-shaped carabiners. I do make sure I always have ovals, and ovals work for munters as well. Always remember when I'm teaching these things, this is not the only way, this is just one method. You have to do your practice and research to make sure you see what works best for you. For the munter, you're going to go ahead and go online and learn how to tie this correctly. The munter is a hitch that is able to, when used appropriately, lower somebody down the pitch. Now, the big thing with the munters is they are directional. So when you pull up slack in this direction and you feed this through, that's all good and well, but you don't want to tie it off in the opposite direction, because when it goes to load, the knot is going to want to flip itself over. To tie off the munter, there are several different methods to tie things off. I personally like a half hitch and an overhand. Half hitch and an overhand. And I like to make sure that all of these knots are compact and snug together so that the system does not collapse on itself. That way, in case of an emergency, I can take out these knots. When you go to remove your half hitch, you're going to want to really squeeze the munter hitch, feed out the back end, get ready for your load, pull and hold tight. And then when you go ahead and you lower, you're going to keep both hands on the rope, and then you just slowly let this feed through when you have weight under it. Okay, like I said, you need to do all the practice and research to make sure that you know how to do this properly. You don't want to practice these things when you're doing it for real. Now, if you have the resources and you can do it, then you can bring a device to rig to lower. For this demonstration, I have my Petzl rig. You can haul through a munter, but the friction is real, and you have to take that into account. So sometimes having these devices that you can rappel and climb or raise and lower on are super convenient to have at the top of your system. Now you can go look at the instruction manual and see all the cool things that this Petzl rig can do, but once you have that in the system, if you're walking away from a device like this, you're going to want to tie it off. The user manual shows to take a half hitch or a slip knot, you run it through here, you take your extra carabiner, you grab that bite, and you clip it off to the anchor. Okay? That way, if something were to happen, it's going to lock down on itself and it won't let that pull through. Like I said, there's many ways to do things. I personally don't like the instruction manual way for the knot that ties off. And as a safety knot, I do an overhand and I clip that back to the anchor. that is not going to go through that device either. As you can see, different ways to do things. Now, if my buddy needed to get lowered to the ground, I come over, I take the backup knot out, and now I'm ready to lower them to the ground. So it's just things to think ahead of. We don't want a bad situation to happen, but if it does, man, wouldn't it be nice to have something ready to go? All right, just some things to think about.